like alcoholic. I was thinking about how I was a creature of extremes, and if I'm not feeling totally 100%, something's wrong. As alcoholics, I'm not used to giving myself a chance to feel, right? Because I used to unknowingly anesthetize those feelings. Thought they were dealt with, but they weren't. Nothing more than pushed down, waiting to erupt. I think our book talks about he explodes over a trifle. That's part of those bedevilments, right? Not being able to control my emotional nature. I pin them down long enough and they come out in inappropriate ways. These feelings have to be dealt with. No wonder Bill on 145 in our book talks about they're the greatest enemies, right? Resentment may be the number one offender, but when he says the greatest enemies of us alcoholics are resentment, jealousy, envy, frustration, and fear. And I have found myself, just like earlier in the book, he dovetails it, feeling myself justified by the feelings of life. I just needed some relief, feeling myself justified by nervousness, worry, anger, depression, jealousy, the like. And then if I look back, of course, I see, just like he said, that it's insanely insufficient in the light of the havoc the drinking bout creates. And, I get to thinking about how, as an alcoholic, having done that so long, I'm due for some feelings of life. And I need to be prepared for that. Anesthetizing feelings was a privilege, not a right, just like Dr. Bob talks about in his story. I realized that my drinking was a privilege, not a right, and I abused my privilege, and I don't get to do it anymore, and I don't need to squawk about it, I think his word was. So there's some feelings I need to deal with, but still I have that propensity in me. My solution is in some kind of bottle. And I was hearing somebody talk about it on the news or some info program, or they said it, I didn't say it, but they said we're a nation of zombies. Most people are on some kind of dope, whether it be antidepressant dope, Xanax, Klonopin, which is the bane of every alcoholic's existence. I get a little sad, I go to the doctor, hide under the legitimacy of some prescribed something, and the next thing you know, I'm picking up a white chip. I've seen that. It's like, if I want to sign on for this to be able to live life on life's terms, I got to realize it's going to be tough, because for me the price of trying to find my solution in another bottle is oblivion. I've got to sign on to the fact that it's going to be uncomfortable. No wonder he said certain trials and low spots ahead. But he said there's things I can do. We don't like to consider ourselves miracles of mental health, but there's a page that addresses depression, isn't it? It says body badly burned, 133, by alcohol doesn't disappear overnight, nor does twisted thinking and depression vanish in a twinkling. And it says we've found that a spiritual mode of living is an amazing health restorative. And then he says this bold statement: those of us who have recovered from drinking are miracles of mental health. I don't know. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a majority in AA at all that would even embrace that statement, let alone believe in it. But there it is. So what is he saying? That I'm the smartest guy in the room? No, I think that I need to put in perspective how far I've come. I need to realize that maybe I got a one-up on all these people out there. At least we have a program. There's people out there that aren't us that don't have a program to deal with shit. And I feel good about that. I don't feel good when I go through downtimes. But I have tools that deal with that, and I need to be aware that feelings aren't facts. Like Fred in his story on 42, he said the curious feeling that the drink problem had been removed came once I just made a decision to go through with the process, as it in fact proved to be. Well, you can put feelings and facts in the same sentence, but that's not where they live. Feelings aren't facts. The proof is in the process. And, I have to go through the process to prove the feeling that it's been removed. And this feeling that the world's going to end and I'm depressed and this is the worst thing in the world, it also passes. I get strength from God, and it's in the form of hope that a better way of life will emerge when it's overcome. There's no instantaneous matching concept. I mean, everybody goes to 68, matching calamity with serenity, and we think a certain incantation is just going to make it okay. Well, sometimes you got to gut it out. Sometimes you got to be on 117. It says, hey, these ups and downs will be part of my education. This will be learning how to live. I will not let them drag me down. A better way of life will emerge when they are overcome. Sometimes gutting it out, and then only after it's over, I look back and I say, wow, it's been matched. But it's tough, But I want the quick fix. I want to go to the doc and get some dope in whatever form. I want to anesthetize it in various ways. Retail therapy, I'll go buy me a jacket, that's cool. And then 15 minutes later, I'm like, Mark, this sucks. So you learn these lessons. In recovery, and I go, you know what? I've tried that before. I found myself wanting, let me save my money, maybe work with somebody else, and I feel like I won the lottery instead of having a closet full of shoes I don't wear. I mean, but sometimes you have to learn your own mistakes. You can't sit in a meeting and expect everybody to just tell you all the lessons you're going to learn. That's part of gutting this thing out. I need to learn how to live sober. Now, I've been here long enough, I should know. I should never be depressed, right? I mean, with this long as I've been here. But there is ups and downs. But some of the things, the thought processes that I've talked about are ones that I need to continue to remind myself of. And that's just some of the thoughts that I had. I wasn't going to share. Here we are, still 15 till. I mean, it's amazing, I've been to a meeting where everybody passed, and it was 20 after. What do? I guess you end the meeting, But, dude, I mean, somebody's got to come up. And after I share, I'm sure that somebody else will share something else. Because sometimes, you got to throw a bunch of stuff out, and something's going to stick. Because we read some letter from 1960 that's not out of the book, and we're sort of left flailing. We say, man, I'm used to leading a meeting out of the book. What is this letter, But somehow the book always gives me a foundation of something to talk about. And that depression page, 133, realizing these greatest enemies are ever present, and I need to learn how to deal with them, 145 and 37. So, these things are always there, but I learn how to deal with them better as time goes on. And I've been going through some shit lately. Is it a big thing? No, everything's great in my life, but I've got a certain trial and low spot I'm going through. And it ain't because she didn't call me back. It ain't because I don't got no money. Sometimes there ain't no reason that I can pin on it that I'm feeling a little down. But I've learned that, and this is so cool too, Henry Ford talks about my past being my asset. Well, my past of using, that's great. That's an asset. That's wonderful. What about the past in recovery I've begin to accumulate once I've come here for a while and learned these lessons? I begin to have a past in recovery that's my asset that proves these things will get better. And I rely on that past to get me through the next time, It sort of self-fulfills itself. And I fly in the face of what my propensity is to sabotage, So, anyway, I've had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, and I'll pass.